9:20 Saturday morning sourcing video. Sales aren't too much, like 6 for 120 something. Let's see here. What do we have on the good old trusty 6 for 160? So that's not enough for that. However, since I got back yesterday probably 7:15. While I was out, my wife sent me a picture that the computer was in a blue screen. And it was like a system configuration, something like that. So I looked at my phone, what could resolve it. I tried two things, and I wasn't going to keep going, knowing that I had another SSD, a solid state hard drive. That was all already installed, had everything on it. All I would have to do is just sign into my Google account, and then everything else would just pretty much sync up. So that's what I did. Nothing on the hard drive that I needed to keep or retain anything that there would be was backed up on another hard drive or was backed up in cloud. So when I got back, I wasn't able to make a sourcing video. So that's what this is. Went out to Avon and didn't go to 3 stores because I ended up going to a couple of yard sales. And one yard sale, I stopped and I got 2 Invicta Pro Diver watches. And these are more for me. And this Bulova, I forget exactly what the model is. There's a little bit of scratching right down here. You have to zoom in for it, but there's a little bit of scratching down on the crystal. So in case you don't know, the glass that covers the watch is called the crystal. There's a little bit of scratching down there. This one I can sell and recoup the cost of the 140 I spent for all 3. And I could probably sell the blue one for maybe 80 to 90, but I like the black and the blue. I've had like Citizen watches or Seikos or things like that in the past. Battery dies, I just don't want to replace it or whichever. I think one I had for a while is actually listed. A Citizen. And there's a Citizen Kinetic Drive, and these are Kinetic Drive. So that chewed up a little bit of time with those. The other yard sale that I got something at would be these and some U.S. sailing books. So little stories on all that. Let me go ahead and show you guys what I got and make the video kind of short. So this was at a different store that's up in Avon that the Goodwill and Salvation Army that I start at. This store where I was at the yard sale where I got the watches at, she instructed me that there was another store, and it was about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, directly north, just a tad west, directly north of there, and it's called Good Neighbor. When I said Good Neighbor, I was like, I forget his name. The darn ghoul, the ghoul mayor from Fallout 4. Either way, I said his name while I was there. Now I don't remember it. Of course, I woke up like half hour ago. But so I went there, and one's with this sticker stuff I got there. CDs, 99 cents. Books, hardcovers were $2, DVDs were $2, paperbacks were $1, and cookbooks were strangely priced. They have a bunch of cookbooks, a bunch. That's probably why they still have a bunch, because they're strangely priced. Like hardcovers were like $5 or something. Don't remember, but it is a stop worthwhile because I did get quite a bit. Actually, I must have. I must have that receipt somewhere else. Okay, that's credit card receipt. Either way, let's get into the stack here. So, oh no, so that was not. So these, the stickers like this, were from the first Goodwill I stopped at. So this is last of summer wine. I've sold a couple of these before. This one, maybe like $20. I don't think I got anything that was even below 20. This last of, we have these, those, those, those. So they are, I want to say they're $1.79. See the one it was like $30 there. It was tax free. They were no $1.99, $2 for each set. Most of them are $20. I didn't scan every single one of them. The ones I did scan was this set here. That price is just from a different thrift store. That's about 40. No, it was about 40. These other ones are going to be anywhere from 20 to 30. So if that can be an individual listing for each, if they're hitting 18 to 20, cool. If they're going to be below, if any of them are going to be below 15, I'll figure it out from there. Sometimes when I get bunches like this, is what I'll do. I'll pick maybe like the two, let's just say, I don't know how many are here, 12, 13. I'll pick the two highest ones and put everything else on a lot. But if everything is over 20, that's what I'll individually just list stuff that way. All right. Miss Victoria, whomever, singing different composers. Most of these I'm not going to remember. There might be a few things I remember what they are value-wise. This John Conley, Rose-Colored Glasses, I believe is the actual name of it. This one is closer to 30. The New Writers of the Purple Sage. I don't know, but looking at the picture, looks like maybe early 90s. 2000 maybe, 2000s. Usually the year. I'm not saying in a year. Might be in 90s. Oh, it's just called New Writers. Purple Sage or something. All right, this Handbook of Homemade Power. Lots of them sell in paperback. The hardcover versions are like a 1979 version, except for this is a 1974 first print. So it will be the first print, library bind, hardcover. See if I can get $30 for it. So this is a book. Where I got this one at, it would have been $1.29. This is the Windsor chair, which I believe it just has to do with a chair or different newspaper articles, magazine articles. It has to do with a Windsor chair, and the other side is just words. Paperback, same kind of thing. Paperback, they do sell for like 15, $20. Hardcover, not as many. This is a absolute library bind. It's done well. Clean, crisp pages from 1962. I didn't really look up too much more, but the hardcovers do sell like 20, 25 bucks. It's a little heavier book, but regardless of its weight, it still sells. And even at minimum, if it's going out media mail, it's still under $5 to ship, right? So I think it was $1. This one was at the Good Neighbor store, so I think it was $2. Strange one. So if you're just looking right here, and if you just see the ambulance, not much would really attract you to it. It's just the ambulance. It's not really a catchy word, or I mean, it can be to some. However, it's the older font and the older look to it. So I went ahead and grabbed it and it's not signed. I think it's just ownership. However, it is a book that does sell. This is a first load and go edition, 1990. So the book does sell. Strangely, it's kind of like the history of the ambulance, which, if I'm not mistaken, the first ambulance or the first paddy wagon was in Akron, Ohio. One of the two. Maybe I don't think it was the first police cruiser, because that would have made more sense to have that in like New York. But still sells for low 20s up to high 20s. This is one I got at a Goodwill and would have been $1.19. And I'm saying that and making the dollar value flat because it was tax exempt, and it still is tax exempt days up until August 14th. So if it was $1.19, it was $1.19, no tax added. And the tax exempt means you're just not charged tax. Slugs and Bugs Show, $30. Seal Clear Cleopatra, I want to say it's like 20, a little over 20. A lot of these I'm not going to remember now. Another interesting book from the Good Neighbor store, Draper Touch. It's like a biography of Dorothy Draper. Don't know who she is. By the looks, it's going to be 1920s, 1930s. However, it is signed. The signature matches up with like the tails and this T part to other ones that are listed. I believe this may have been drawn in by this person, because all the other ones they show that they sign it in an angle. So even if this was here before, still would have likely put the signature in an angle. So I believe that the author put that in there. And if you can see here, this matches up with the type of writing to that. So signed, these are 75 to 90 bucks. So paid $2 for it. They do sell. This Tiger Copycat from 1979. This one is from, I know I saw the year on it somewhere. This I got at a yard sale. Yeah, 1979. Looks like it's never been used. I did take it out of the foam block, and it was still in the packaging, in the plastic packaging, and it doesn't look like there's been any like color fade or anything. It doesn't even look like there's no marks on where the battery back is. So somebody bought this, got it for Christmas, and put it on a shelf and decided to get rid of it at the yard sale. This was actually $2, and then I got 4 or 5 U.S. sailing instructional books that combine those 4 or 5 books is going to be like $30. So there's those. All right, Pebble and the Penguin. soundtrack? Is it the original soundtrack or is it the score? Soundtrack, $20. I've sold several of these before. Children of Eden. It's like a play or a concert. And this is at the Paper Mill Playhouse. These are like $20, maybe a little more. Actually, I just sold one of these not too long ago. Medi. This is 1999 Medi. So there's another one that's like Medi Across the Universe or something that has multiple planets on it. This is the only one that has, it looks like the moon. And with this one, there's listed at 40 and a couple have sold at 40. I think I had to go to Terapeak to confirm that they do sell for 40, but they do. Home Alone score. So the music score, not necessarily. So there is a difference between a cast recording, a score, and a soundtrack. I'm not going to get into that, but whatever it reads up here, that's what I'll type in there. I may even put the word soundtrack in there in the title as well. That's why you have a picture of the front. That way they can see that it's a music score. Close to 30. If I would have made this last night, my brain would have been more remembering on what was going for what, or I would have just pre-scanned at that point and already had that stuff kind of situated on what the value is. But I don't think anything, like I said already, I don't think anything is even at 15. There might be a couple things that just sub 20. Yoga for Seniors, I want to say is like 30. This might be the only one that's below 20. Sink to Bismarck, sealed. Both these are sealed. This one might be like 16, 18. Well, probably should have looked these books up before I made the video. However, they do sell. That's probably why I got them. And Superstition Mountain, A Ride Through Time. Has a map. So I knew it had something. So where's Superstition Mountain? Weaver's Needle. So Weaver's Needle is kind of like Devil's Mountain. Devil's Mountain, if you don't know, is the one in Arizona that's in like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So this looks like just a map that was made just for the book. Not quite Old Timers map. I'm going to guess it's probably $20 or more. This aluminum casting by Reynolds Metal. It's just a fairly older, and it's one of those shiny page old books on. I don't know when. Oh, that's a nice. So we can definitely tell it's 80s. I can tell by that. I mean, looking at some of the other pictures, but just looking at this type of engine. It's the Chevy Corvair. My car was a problem. If you're not familiar with cars, the Chevy Corvair was like the Pinto of its days that had problems. 1965, so it definitely wasn't 80s. And that could have just been the first year on it, but still, it's like $25, $30. A pair of Chelsea Morgan frames, nothing spectacular. These are like $25, $30. It's cool. Hawkwind Live Chronicles. It has this dark with red, so I really can't read that. The Chronicles of the Black Sword. Choose Your Mask. Song of the Swords. The Sea King. Dead God's Homecoming. So it is a music CD set. With this in it as well. And here's the whole story that goes with it. It's like, The Dreaming City, Michael Moorcock. He wrote a couple other things I'm not super familiar with. So this was $2. I think they come up sold for around 40. Boy Crazy with a K. A single with That's What Love Can Do. And One Thing Leads to Another. Chick here looks like a chick who played with them, Nikita. So not sure who they are, when they're from. 1993. So pay two. I think I don't know, maybe $20. Gene Seeley, again, probably $20, maybe a little more. And The Crossing, I think closer to 30. Jeff Daniels as George Washington. No insert, maybe a little less. So this sourcing video is not really the best made. You know, that morning energy. So yeah, all that driving wears you down. Maybe and the Saturdays and Sundays I don't have an alarm, so I just slept on through, and probably I got up about an hour ago, which would have been 8:45. So it kind of weighs you down when you sleep. You want to sleep. I am missing a receipt somewhere. It wasn't too much at that one. That was $12 at the one where I'm missing the receipt for the Good Neighbor. So 12, 15, 30, 45, 50, $60, and I'm not including the 140 for the washes. So, or the $5 for the other books and the little copycat thing. So $60 for what I have here. That's going to be listable, and then there's a couple other things that are still over there that are the sailing books. What can I can say it's at least 1,000 for liftable wise. I mean, there's already 50 or 80 or so in this book, and they're really in between all of these. Even at 20 each, and it's not 20 each. It's more than probably. Either way, brain isn't really functioning. So when I'm done, just a little later on, go head up to Savers and the Goodwill, because it's been a couple days, and go from there. Not really super energetic morning video in regards to that. Stuff's in the way, brain's not really working right. So, like what you heard, like what you saw, if you learned something from this one, cool beans. Thummy, comment, sub share. They all help. Oh, and I'm at 501 subs. I should probably start that off with this. Started the video off with that. See, wow. I will talk about the giveaway and how I'm going to do it. I still haven't really gone in a absolute conclusive way on how to go about. If I'm going to do a gift card on, if I do a gift card for for one winner, I could just scratch the number off and just send a picture via email or send the code or whichever. I'll figure something out. Another one's going to be a coupon for my store for like I don't know, a $50 off coupon for my store, or a 50% off something. I mean, I'll figure something out for that. And then for a third, but I have to see how many actually people are going to comment or make a comment on a community post, and then I will make that community post will be something like, the idea still stands. That is what I want for any of the viewers to do, is just to kind of write on how they would explain to someone else on what this channel is about, but with a bit of humor in it. Make you use the noodle and think of something that's, like an aphorism, and a little jokingly, and make it to where people can read it, and that gets the attention, and that would get you the upvotes and the comments to your comment, the comment you made, and it will drive other people to like yours, and then the top three or the top several will then be put in a community post vote. And well, if there's only top of three good ones, then it will stop there. And then I'll just figure out on who gets what from there. But if it's going to be quite a few, 20 or so comments, then I'm going to have to do a vote. That's kind of convoluted. So, yep, that's going to wrap that one up. Appreciate it. Thank you.